Outskirts of Heaven was an idea that I had about, I was just sitting at my house one night and we were talking, I was talking to my wife about, heaven, and I said, heaven, the picture that has been painted in my mind of heaven is very metro, very big city-like, with the pearly gates and the golden streets and the mansions and all that, and I just said, I grew up in the country. I mean, we grew up so far outside of town that we didn't even go trick-or-treating because there were no houses around us. The idea of me living in a downtown area is very, made me anxious. So Outskirts of Heaven was an idea that I had, that maybe, just maybe, when I do get to heaven, that it's going to be what I want it to be, and that would be, a little farmhouse, a river, some hay fields, and just very, very country life. Well, Outskirts of Heaven is definitely a faith-based song for me. And when I wrote it with my buddy Dave Turnbull, and when we wrote it, I said, listen, let's take radio out of this. I don't want to write this song for radio. I want to write it for myself. And it truly is, once we were done with it, it is 100% me. It's definitely the things that I believe in. Despite what country radio is doing these days as far as what the music they put on the airways, I wasn't worried about any of that when I wrote it. And I started playing it live, and then I just started seeing this reaction from people, and it's hard to get a reaction out of people when they've never heard a song before. So I felt convicted to make this the single. It was a challenge or a leap of faith, and pun intended, because of of what radio's doing these days, and the kind of music that's on the stations. It's Outskirts of Heaven is fairly different than any of that. But I talked to a friend of mine a year or so ago, and we were talking about certain things, and how do I go from where I am right now and to being hugely successful in country music. He says, man, you got to pick a lane, you got to stay in it. And I feel like this song is my lane, and I'm planning on staying in it. I feel good about this song. I think it's going to be the surprise, because it's we're in the summertime right now. It seems like all of the things about this song are going against the grain. It's a slower song. It's a 3/4 time waltz song. It's got a lot of steel guitar in it, and it's 4 minutes long. I think people are going to, once it gets to a spot on the chart, and I think people are going to be surprised, but pleasantly surprised.